Good evening and welcome to the Mathematics News. It's cold, it's Tuesday, it's time to do some maths. So vectors part 2. Vectors, as you know from my previous video, can be written in different ways. They can be written as a journey from one point to another. They could be going from point A to point B, and it's talking about that journey. All vectors are little journeys. They can be described as column vectors. So there could be a journey going 2 to the right and 3 up. There could be something with negative numbers, so -7 and then -5. That means it's going 7 to the left and 5 down. Positive numbers are going right and up, negative numbers are going left and down. But some of the questions you have to deal with, they just have something which is quite graphical. They have pictures of vectors which are drawn as arrows, and you might have to describe a journey that's using like a combination of these. So you might have, for example, given 3 vectors like this, you might be asked to describe the journey P plus Q. And that means you're doing that journey and then you're doing that journey. It doesn't have to start at here. It can start in different places. So I'll be sort of going that direction and then afterwards doing that. That's the P part of the journey and that's the Q part of the journey. And the overall position, if you're starting here, would be here. And this is called the resultant vector. The resultant vector is what happens if you take this complete journey. Now, you might also have something in a similar style, but it says P minus Q. P minus Q would be traveling along P, but then going backwards along Q. So if that's sort of the P direction, Q was going down to the right, because that's the definition of what Q is. But if you're doing negative Q, it means you're going the opposite direction. So you'd end up somewhere over here. That's the P, and that's the negative Q. So all of these vectors can be combined together. You could even have 2 of those, or 3 of those. What if I had maybe, let's move this to the side slightly, 2r, and then I'm going to do minus p. So 2r would be 2 of those journeys, so going way across to the right. Then I'm going backwards down p, so p goes that way normally, minus p will be going the opposite direction. So it'll be something like this. That's maybe a bit too long. But that's your 2r going that way, and then negative p, which is meant to be the same length and parallel to p, but going the opposite direction. So keep going with the manga high. Good luck with that. I'm going to be seeing what happens in the afternoon tomorrow. Brilliant. That's the maths news. From the Mathematics News Desk, good evening.